Welcome to the Goat Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. We are doing our Friday night live stream. My name is ZiLLY, aka Ravine. I am joined by my co-hosts, Fresh and Deezy. What's going on, gentlemen? Listen, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling kind of depressed. I gotta be honest with you. I know you shouldn't feel that way on a Friday night when you got your brew, you know, that good brew going, and maybe you're doing a little smoky smoke. Cheers to the people out there, the goats.
When you got your blue, cheers.
When you got your meth, maybe that's what I need, because that might be what I need, because reason
I got them blue pouches, you know what I'm saying? That nicotine.
Yeah, bro. Listen, this is the dopest company name that you could ever have for methylene blue. Like,
I do love it. That is pretty great. I would buy it just because of the name.
Well,
right.
We're gonna get somebody on the show soon that is gonna be able to get into all that kind of stuff. Nootropics, methylene blue, all that kind of stuff. Just shot him an email today, so we'll get that worked out. But until I start taking that stuff, I went and got my T levels checked. For those of you who don't know what T means, it means testosterone. I got my T levels checked, and the results say that I'm on the low end. I'm on the low end of where I should be with my T levels. I got triple these T levels from what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. So I don't feel like I got low T, but that's what it's saying. So I'm gonna have to get poked in the butt with some testosterone. And I think it's just what happens when you get old, man. I think that's just what it is. You get old, and I shouldn't drink.
I'm only 30, bro. Cheers to that, bro. I'm only 30. I'm about to go to the lab and see if I'm low at all. I don't think so, because I can't fucking keep a clean face to save my life, but we'll figure it out.
Listen, I mean, I can't stop the ball hair from growing. You know what I'm saying? Tried. It just goes crazy. Gotta shave it every freaking, every couple of days, and then even when I get it waxed, it comes back, and so that's what I'm saying. I didn't realize. So, man,
what a fag.
Masculine.
You say you wax.
Ladies love it, bro. Come on, they don't want to get caught in the thicket. They don't want to have to dig through to figure out, what they're hunting for. Ladies, if you're watching, I know at least there's at least one or two of y'all. Comment. Is it gay to get waxed? Anyway, but it's just a part of getting old. If you're a man and you're hitting your 40s, go get checked. You might be like me. You might be having low T levels, so it's a good thing to do. And then maybe you can pump it up, literally, figuratively, all the ways. Something else that happens as you get older is death. That brings us to our first topic. Gene Hackman. He dead.
RIP.
R.I.P.
Yes, bro. R.I.P.
So
yeah, the coroners came back and said that it was quote unquote natural causes. He died of heart disease and she died of hantavirus.
Okay. I don't even know we might have to do live grokkings on this episode. So for anybody who's young, all these young whippersnappers who are just, they only hang out on social media. They don't watch films anymore, right? Gene Hackman's a goat. He's been in some of the greatest movie films of all time. That's him right there as an older gentleman. He was in The French Connection. It's classic. He was in a lot of stuff. My favorite Gene Hackman movie, maybe you guys have favorites, but my favorite is Crimson Tide. That is my favorite performance by him in a movie. I don't know if you guys have seen Crimson Tide. Have you seen it, Fresh, Deezy?
No.
I don't. Maybe I have.
It's him and Denzel Washington. Denzel is a young buck, like when he was first kind of getting his name.
Is that where are they like on a submarine?
Yes.
I know that
I
movie.
haven't seen it.
My honest opinion is, I think it's
1995, bro. That movie that's the year I was born.
Holy shit.
I just a baby.
Well, in my opinion, it's the greatest submarine movie ever made. I know some of y'all be saying Das Boot. Some of y'all might be saying The Hunt for Red October. Comment if you think there's a better submarine movie. But in my opinion, Crimson Tide, watch that movie. Greatest submarine movie ever made. In my opinion, Gene Hackman's greatest performance ever. And not Denzel's. Denzel's had better performances, but I'm just saying Denzel held his own in that movie as well. But well, I don't know what else. What
Bro,
other movie?
Denzel Washington has like that. That man has some crazy roles. But I think for Gene, mine would probably be Enemy of the State, bro.
Oh, right. Enemy of the State. Yeah, he's good in that movie. Yeah.
We're boomers, bro. We're boomers, bro. That's crazy. People are like, "Who's Gene, and why should we care about him?" He died at like 93, right? Like of old age in his home. Like,
I mean, did he win? What did he win an Oscar? I think Unforgiven. He won an Oscar for as the sheriff.
Yo, Gene Hackman was a voice actor in the movie Ants.
Yes,
you guys
sir.
remember that? Yeah.
Okay.
That movie was crazy, bro. Back in the day, that movie. If you're thinking about animation like that kind of thing, that was kind of ahead of its time for 1998.
That was one of the first, right? One of the first 3D. It's like Toy Story, and I think that was the first like real. I don't know, like what we think of as
Shrek. Shrek was the game changer.
And there's like also like A Bug's Life.
Right.
A Bug's Life was pretty early back then, you know.
There's a scene in the you kind of put it out there, but there's a scene in the Ants movie that is really good where it talks about the commoners and the people and how you have to keep them in line and shit like that.
I'm pretty sure that's Bug's Life.
Oh, is that Bug's Life or is that Ants?
That one's a Bug's Life.
Oh,
that's a Bug's Life with the grasshopper, and he's like,
yeah.
If they find out that there's, yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, Gene Hackman, look him up. Get on the IMDb. Maybe have a movie night this weekend.
Like, also, wasn't he like Lex Luthor?
Oh, he was dude. Dude, he was the original Superman. He was. That may be his best, actually. That's
what I'm saying, bro. Like, like he's a guy, bro. He's just, you know, he's just more from our era and before, right?
Yeah.
R.I.P. to the GOAT, bro.
I mean, hey, if you haven't seen the original Superman series from the 80s, the Richard Donner Supermans, all four of them are great. I recommend it, man. Watch that. And he was, and then you had Ned Beatty, Lex Luthor, Mr. Luthor. It's dope. All right, so Gene Hackman View-a-thon. All right, French Connection, probably his most famous movie. I would say Superman 1 and 2, or whatever he was in.
Young Frankenstein.
Oh, whoa! Was he in Young Frankenstein? Really?
Let me look it up. Let me make sure. But
no. Are you talking about almost positive. Whoever was? No, he wasn't Frankenstein.
He was in Young Frankenstein, bro.
Oh, not as Frankenstein though.
Yes, bro. Yes, he's a
performer. That the one with Gene Wilder?
Yes.
No, that was a different dude. That was a dude from
Bro, that is him.
Bro, Behind Enemy Lines.
Behind Enemy Lines. A good one.
Damn, I'm looking at all of his movies, man. And a lot of them, honestly, I have not seen. A lot of them I have not seen. So you're right. We got to go on a Gene Hackman
Gene Hackman movie. I need to let me look too. But my number one pick for your movie-a-thon, Crimson Tide. That's the number one for me.
Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp.
He was in 1994. He was in Wyatt Earp. Wyatt Earp.
Let me see.
Nah, bro. Enemy of the State, man.
Enemy of the State is a good. Yeah, that's a dope one.
Behind Enemy Lines.
There's
a lot of them, bro. A lot of them.
What else has he been in? Oh, the Royal Tenenbaums.
Yep.
He's a G in that movie. What else is he in? He's been in a lot of stuff. He's been in a lot of stuff. Good stuff.
Eureka.
I don't think he's ever really been. He's never given a bad performance, in my opinion. But
and again, he's been in movies since the 70s, bro.
Yeah.
Geronimo.
Oh, dude, Get Shorty and The Quick and the Dead. That's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Firm. Man, he had a run there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But Unforgiven, I think, is probably. I think he won an Oscar with that one. Oh, Mississippi Burning. We can go on forever, man. This dude's been.
Yeah.
Check out his IMDb. He's in some fantastic movies. But
Yep, absolutely.
Anyway, the reason he's on our radar. Oh, Hoosiers. You gotta say Hoosiers is one of the classic sports films of all time.
True.
Classic sports films. Yeah, unbelievable actor. But how did he land on our radar? My homie dead. My G, literally Gene, dead. So what do you find out, Fresh? Because some people think there's some hanky panky going on here with how this went down. But they're saying it's just natural causes. What's going on?
Well, apparently he had like severe Alzheimer's and that he died of heart disease.
Okay.
The problem is, like, the thing that's weird to me anyways is that, like, she died a week before. Right? So it's kind of weird.
She died before he died?
Yes.
Oh.
A week before. And she died of hantavirus, which is like you contract that from rat piss and rat shit.
Okay. Wait, but didn't the dog die too? What happened with the dog?
The dog was dead. One dog was dead, two were alive. And nobody knows, like, to right now, they haven't done an autopsy or like found a cause of death.
Yeah, that's some shady shit, bro. There's something weird going on there.
Well,
like, how did the dog die too? You know?
Well, did the dog die first?
Well, I mean, let's say that. Sorry. Let's say she put the dog in the cage in the closet or something.
Okay.
Because that's where it was found, in the closet, right? In a cage.
Mm-hmm.
So she put it there to like discipline it for a minute, which I don't agree with, but she did it. Then she goes to the washroom and she dies. Okay. He's got Alzheimer's, severe Alzheimer's. Maybe he doesn't even remember the dogs. This dog's locked in a closet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, listen, I'm not saying that this is for sure what happens, but there are other like logical conclusions to jump to before you automatically think it's nefarious, right?
Yeah,
like,
I didn't know the dog was locked in a cage in the closet. That makes sense. Him having Alzheimer's is, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they were old. I mean,
and then I mean, 90? she was a lot younger than him, but he was like 92.
Right. She was senior citizen.
93.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, when it comes to the older folks, you can't. I mean, this is the thing. Okay, so let's zoom out a little bit, because every time something happened now, we're all X'd out. You know what I mean? Like, we all think that it's like conspiracy. It's like sometimes people are just old and they do old stuff. You know, she might have been not. Maybe she didn't have all her marbles. You know what I'm saying? Then she. You know, I know what I'm saying. There's so many things that happen with older folks that. Oh, you're muted, Fresh.
Sorry. She was found in the bathroom upstairs.
Okay.
So he was found at the front door, right?
Okay.
So, like, it's not even beyond reason that he just stayed on the first floor. Right. Like, I don't know what size Gene Hackman's house was, but we just went through his movie list, brother. Like, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he's 93 and didn't go upstairs. Like, she was like 65 or whatever the fuck it was. Like, she likely still went upstairs. You know what I mean? He might have been sleeping in a room downstairs normally. You know what I mean? Like,
there's so many. I mean, I think the reason the original thing came up was, one, Randy Quaid. For anybody who doesn't know, the Quaid brothers, he was the one that flew the plane. If anybody's seen Independence Day, he was the one that flies the plane into the big ship. So he's saying that it was foul play. That's what Randy Quaid's saying. But who knows a Randy Quaid? Who knows? How does he know?
Well, the reason that I jumped to foul play was because when I saw the headlines, it was like they were all found together dead. Right. It didn't have a separation of, you know, she died before and then this, and there were all these different variables. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
It's plausible. But it was like Gene found dead with his dog and his wife in the apartment. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, who? Like, why did they all three die? You know?
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
the dog die? That's the thing. Like, how the fuck did the dog die? But it being locked up could have been gotten forgotten and about, and that's totally plausible. So.
Right. Yeah, that's misleading. They didn't all die together. It wasn't like somebody threw a freaking gas grenade.
They weren't shot in the back of the head or anything. It wasn't like they're executed, tied up, you know. But that's kind of how the news fucking would out as.
Yeah, news has freaking assassins entering the Hackman home. Freaking
right.
Happen 3. It's like pew pew pew, like, and then exiting. That's what I slashing the dog and then getting the wife like with the wire and then
it's definitely not. It's not an Isaac Cappy situation. And for those of you who don't know, look into that. Very interesting.
Deezy will fucking pill you one conspiracy at a time, I promise you. This is Randy Quaid actually saying, like, Gene Hackman and his wife are murder victims. Some scumbags did it and staged it. Stop talking about the films he's in. This is how they get away with murdering famous people. Fake news starts generating film clips. How is it possible? I know at least 6 people who have died, like Cardine, Hackman, Ledger.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little.
Ledger, something. Ledger, if he would have said Anthony Bourdain and like fucking what's his name from
Isaac Cappy and one of the Corys, right?
Oh yeah, Corey Feldman, or no, Corey?
No, the other one.
Hain?
Yes, I think so.
So here's the thing, and he's right in the sense that you can get away with a lot by making it feel like whatever, but.
Bro, this one, that's intricate.
Chester Bennington is what I was thinking.
Like, you know what I mean? Chris Cornell. And exactly. Like, there's so many you can think of, but like, I mean, I don't feel like Heath Ledger, bro, rest in peace to him. He became the Joker, bro. The movie killed him. Becoming that character killed him. Like,
he had a legit psychological break from his personality in order to to play the characters well.
What? Because the Joker has a psychological break in him. You know what I'm saying? The Joker has split personality. And he had to give himself that shit.
Wait, didn't he die from like just pills?
Suicide. He killed himself.
Did he?
Well, so did Kurt Cobain. And Epstein.
Listen. Well, yeah. I mean, Epstein is
brother. I just want to say this right now. Whether you do it on purpose or not, if you take pills and you die, you killed yourself.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Just to clarify.
But the question is like, is it a conspiracy? Did someone, do something to cause
Mac Miller him? Did somebody Mac Miller him?
Well, we say Mac Miller did a thing too.
Mac Miller. Yeah, Mac Miller got hot packs.
He was killed by fake pills. He was thinking he's got some fresh whatever he was taking, and it had fucking fentanyl in it, and it killed him. Right. And the girl, this was in Arizona, that the girl got arrested in. I'm pretty sure it was Arizona. And the girl that sold him the fake drugs got arrested. There was a whole drug bust. There's like a legitimate operation that went into that afterwards, but
I mean, the question here, but here's the thing. Okay, let's bring it back around to Randy. Randy saying that this was like intentional. It was murder. It was, somebody actively pursuing something. This is not a case of like, because even like with Mac Miller, if you're saying like, he took a hot dose. I mean, that's not necessarily the same as someone gave him a hot dose. He was hot packed. The person got arrested. The drug dealer and the girl got arrested for giving him a hot pack.
Right. The guy
they weren't trying.
That means they know. That means they know, right? Like, because like drug dealing is one thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But like, I didn't kill you if you went out seeking drugs, purchased them, and then ate them and died. unless I willingly and knowingly sold you something that was
fake.
laced. Yeah, fake.
It's one thing to sell like your prescription you got from the fucking doctor that you know is exactly what you're giving to somebody versus like a fake pressed pill that was pressed in Mexico comes over, it's got fentanyl in it, and then people overdose because that shit's not.
What would be the impetus to sell someone a hot pill instead of what they normally would?
To get them more fucked up to rob them.
I see.
Or you hook them more because fentanyl is extremely addictive. So if they don't die, nothing else that they take is going to scratch that itch. Like they'll go buy their drugs from their local guy, and it won't be hot, and it won't reach that high. Like you see, it'll hook somebody.
That never made sense to me, though. I don't know, the whole fentanyl thing. I just felt like it's like why risk killing a customer? I mean, it just means that you're not gonna. I don't know. It's weird to me. Like, why wouldn't you just? I mean, are fentanyl
for the most part, it's to get the same effect, right? Like, it's cheaper to get the fentanyl and make it into a bunch of pills for the most part. However, like this, I also should clarify: most people are not dying from, although a lot of people are. Most people are not dying from being opiate addicts and then consuming a stronger opiate.
Okay.
Most people are dying from cross-contamination. So the guy who sells you your weed also sells you your fentanyl. He doesn't wear gloves, or he wears the same gloves, or uses the same scale, or whatever the fact.
Okay.
And then, or like, you know, people are buying cocaine. They're not lacing it with fentanyl. They're using the same scale that they use the fentanyl on, and that one little fucking grain gets in it, and you're the guy who got it, and you've never done opiates. And then you get now you've got a speedball instead of just doing cocaine, and your heart attack. You're covered.
Right. But that would still be chalked up to, like, I guess, accidental contamination. I don't know. I'm just trying to understand. I guess what I'm getting at here is the internet's so quick to be like, this is
not if they're selling fentanyl. If you're selling fentanyl, bro, that's like you're a terrorist.
Yeah.
I mean, if you are willingly giving fentanyl to people, like it's not a free market. You are like giving somebody something that you can't take a small enough amount of. Like, it will kill you pretty much no matter how much you take.
Unless, like, you have to graduate to it. You understand? Like, you can't just, like, you don't just go and start using that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
I know what you guys saying. I'm just saying, like, hold on.
They're buying pills, and then it has fentanyl in it. That's how they end up dying.
I understand. The point I'm trying to make is the internet is quick to be like, there's nefarious intent. By that, what I mean is, like, this is a plot. You know, a plot to kill Gene Hackman and his wife and their dog. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I can understand if, like, someone takes a hot dose and whatever. I'm saying, like, I just feel like there's always this. It happened with, like, you know, Chester Bennington and Cornell. It's like, I don't know. What's the evidence that
not everything is? Not everything is a conspiracy. Like, for example, Heath, regardless if it was a suicide or whatever, just overdosed and died. Right? Wasn't somebody gave him the wrong thing? Whatever. He just overdosed and died. So how did you twist that into a conspiracy? Like, I mean, I don't really understand. And then you put Hackman on the list, and how, like, again, you think that somebody came, killed the wife, and held him hostage for a week while the wife rotted?
Right.
For what?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
what the fuck? Like, what is that? And how did you detain her in the washroom when she looked like, where there's no disturbance, where there's no nothing? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? There's no evidence that anybody else was there.
Yeah,
there's no evidence that Gene even went up.
We don't even know the full story. Like I mean, like you said, Deezy, like, we just found out that it was weeks, you know, like 1 week here, 1 week there, 1 week. It's like I'm just saying, X needs to chill. Like, at least let the, you know, whatever we find out. But I just feel like there's a certain contingent of people on X that just want everything to be a nefarious conspiracy done by, like, some special group. And it's like, look, these motherfuckers is old. All right. Like, who the hell knows what happened? You know what I'm saying? That's
another part of that. Another part of that is, like, people want to be the first one to point it out. So even if there's not a conspiracy,
Right.
people will make one in case that there is, and they can be like, well, look, I said
Right.
X, Y, and Z. You know what I
Told
mean?
ya.
So sometimes
Yeah.
it's a kind of about trying to be the first person to say something about something. So that way, if it does end up panning out that way, you were, and you have verifiable evidence of like saying, hey, this is what I said about it before anybody else. So that's kind of what I think goes on with that, with a lot of the breaking news, clickbait bullshit, especially because X is monetized based on impressions. So, you know, a lot of that is for money. But when I first saw it, that's what I saw. And then, you know, learning more about it is different.
Right. Yeah, that's really sharp, man. I can totally see that. It's like, oh, let's just call it a conspiracy now. And then if it does turn out to be one, we were there. We told you, you know, and then nobody remembers if it isn't. If they just find out like, whatever, nobody really remembers. And then people still claim it like on stuff. So,
bro, Nostradamus effect, right? Like, how many prophecies did he make? Did they all come true? Right? You know what I mean? But
right.
That's the thing, is like, you only have to be right a couple of times before people start, you know, paying attention to you.
Right.
Alex Jones effect.
Yeah.
Even though he's been right a lot of times, but still he's been wrong sometimes, or not the whole story sometimes.
Or has he? Kind of like, you know, it's the Ian Carroll effect as well. Ian's been really wrong lately. He went on Rogan and said a lot of wrong stuff. All right. My Israeli brothers. Damn you, Ian Carroll, saying all these wrong things on Rogan. All right. Damn you, spreading all these wrong. Candace, damn you, Candace, on Theo Von, saying all these wrong things about things. Damn you, Tates, all you people. Saying all the wrong stuff.
Bro, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Let's go through all the wrong stuff Ian said on Rogan. All of it. It's all wrong. Okay. It's all wrong.
Oh, yeah.
So
he definitely, listen, what I want to say is, you haven't seen it, go watch it on Spotify.
Yes.
But he definitely says some stuff that has never been that confidently said on a national stage. Like, he definitely said some things straightforward that most people who actually come from a position of intelligence would never say. In the point of position of intelligence, I mean, like, from an intelligence agency or from somewhere where they actually have deep intelligence about something, they would never say certain things like that. So for somebody like him, who's grown so fast, to come on and drop some word bombs on there, and the fact that it hasn't, the thing that's crazy about it is it hasn't been removed. So this is going to be an interesting progression in the next couple of weeks on what happens. Does it get taken down? Does something happen with the episode? Is it like fact check to all hell? Ian Carroll's already come out and made statements about the things he was wrong about, but yeah, it's very interesting.
I agree with you, Deezy. I think this is a big deal. Him going on Rogan, this is a huge deal. I'll tell you why. All right. Because there have been people, look, Ye been going, he been going, you know, he making swastika shirts. All right. Like, Candace has been talking about this a while. You know, Tates have been talking about it a while, all this shit. But the reason I think this is different is because there was a line. It's really because of Rogan, in my opinion. Okay. There was a line that Rogan would not cross. And he's kind of hinted at it a couple of times with appearances with different people. But it's the Israel line. Okay. The Israel line, Rogan has not, as far as I can remember, he hinted at it a couple of times, but he's never had someone on the show who has outright been like, yo, Israel be doing all kinds of stuff. I've yet to see anybody really come on his show and say that shit. And Ian is kind of, I think this is the bridge. And now the floodgates are open. And the reason I don't think it's going to get taken down is because Rogan and Elon are homies, man. I mean, unless this causes a fissure between them, but you know, they're two peas in a pod. Like they're homies, like they're close. So if Ian's on the show and he's saying what. So let's say the things he said. Epstein was some kind of Israeli intelligence agent. Straight up.
That's factual.
Pizzagate, factual. With evidence. Like Whitney Webb is who he cites. Who literally has written 2 books about this stuff. So,
and she came out and made a post and clarified, what the actual connection her book was trying to make, and that it was much more complex than him just being a Mossad agent, but more an Israeli military intelligence agent. And so, like, but one way or the other, the fact is he's linked somehow to Israeli military. That's true. For sure.
Right. So you got that Pizzagate. I mean, and Rogan acknowledging it's not just Ian talking about Pizzagate. It's Rogan acknowledging the WikiLeaks files. And I think Rogan's talked about it before, but like he never really went there. But like he went there. He was like, look, there's freaking WikiLeaks talking about these hot dogs being flown, $50,000 worth of hot dogs being flown into the White House. They talked about how Alefantis, they talk about how he's connected to ADL because Alefantis is gay and his boyfriend was head of the ADL. I don't know if he talked about that. I think he did. Yeah. It's weird. It's very the whole Pizzagate thing. Alefantis is like, it's a bizarre rabbit hole, dude. It's they talked about how the guy showing up with the gun at the Pizzagate place or whatever, what's it called, Comet Pizza. How he's he could just be a limited hangout. Like you show up with a gun. Now everybody's going to talk about it being like this crazy conspiracy theory. Like they went for it on a lot of different levels. So I mean, I feel like this is a transition point for Rogan. Like he has made a conscious decision to have someone on the show who is in the iPill arena. Like at the edge of the iPool arena. Now there's a deeper iPool out there, with Nick Fuentes and the Groypers and that whole group and Myron and all those guys. But this is like the first person, who can kind of present these ideas. You know what I'm saying?
And I thought it was interesting how they
not supposed to say it, right? Or not to say it.
I was going to say that I thought it was interesting how they joked about him being an agent, Ian Carroll, because everyone was saying like, how the fuck did he go from making TikToks less than a year ago? I remember watching him and be like, oh, this guy's got some interesting takes. And then watching his ex blow up. Ian Carroll, if you want to come on the podcast, shout out. Come on. Anyways, and then I seen him in spaces with like large names, and then all of a sudden he's on Joe Rogan, and you're like, holy shit, like talk about a rise to the fucking largest platform in a very, very small period of time. So like he accomplished.
I think when he tried to J-pill Elon, I think a lot of people got J-pilled by proxy.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, think about this. Kai Cenat, iShowSpeed, and Aiden Ross, the biggest streamers, they haven't even been on Joe Rogan.
Right. Well, okay.
Do they?
You know what I mean?
There's a lot to unpack here, and I want to bring up a couple of things. Well, really, we're talking about Deezy. Okay. So I'm of two minds on Ian Carroll. Okay. I genuinely, my personal feeling is he is not a intentional limited hangout. Not intentional. I feel like, because like, I think Angela McArdle and when they did a whole event, he was there and they from what they can tell, like, they were saying he's stand-up dude, straight up dude, whatever. I think there's a lot of weird things going on. Okay. First thing is this. You want to know who's really eye-pilling everybody? It's Elon. I mean, I go on Twitter, X, and even when, like, I don't even want to see some of this stuff, and it's like the real racist stuff is thrown in my face all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's on X, it's on Twitter. I mean, Elon's supposed to be, they really went after him before when he was censoring, Groyper accounts and stuff like that. So I don't know what's going on. Like, I mean, whatever's happening with X, they are definitely not censoring any of the stuff related to Israel and that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, I mean, look, my opinion is you shouldn't be censoring any of it involved with anybody, right?
Sure.
Free speech, just lawyer up because you're probably going to get punched in the face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is what it is. Like,
Right.
You know, somebody's going to see you in real life. You know what I mean? If you say that shit, you know, the freedom of speech also comes with the freedom to consequences, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And those consequences might not be by law, but
the thing about it is that Twitter is now privately owned. It's not publicly traded. So technically he can have whatever terms, policies, and whatever he wants on his platform. You can choose to use it or not, technically.
Right.
So,
but I mean, he's not, because at this point, what would have happened is, because a lot of people are complaining, like Elon is, you know, they show him, you know, in Israel, you know, whatever, when the October 7th stuff happens, they show him, you know, visiting Auschwitz or whatever. I mean, they show all this stuff and they're like, you know, he's wearing a yarmulke or whatever, and they're like, oh, Elon's captured by Israel or whatever. But the truth is, like, dude, I'm seeing plenty of stuff on X that you know, is not favorable to definitely not favorable to Israel. And then there's a bunch of stuff that's definitely straight up anti-Semitic on X. You know what I'm saying? So
the thing is, those people are not getting monetized.
Right. That's true. And fair enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm saying fair enough in the sense that, like, you know, it's Elon's platform. He can decide who he wants to give money to or not. Right. But I guess what I'm saying also is that, okay, so you take someone like Ian Carroll, you know, I just have a hard time, I guess, a circuitous way of saying that he's being promoted is that, okay, he's going to be promoted as this person that's going to, like, what, introduce people to these ideas about Israel, and then they're gonna, like, you know what I'm saying, like why let the cat out of the bag at all? You know what I'm saying? That's what's weird to me about it, the whole thing. And then the other part of it is, I'm really tired of all these people being like, why is Ian Carroll so popular? Why is he so popular? Why is he so popular? Look, the dude understands social media and marketing. All right,
It's not even that, bro. He even said in Joe Rogan, he said, I used to be a teacher, so like I understand how to present information in a way that people will like learn and understand, and it'll capture their attention. It doesn't even have to be about marketing. He goes, does research, presents the research with, you know, an opinion that he has gathered from the information, and he lays that out in a way where you can check his sources, and like it's slow enough to follow along, but not too slow that you get bored. And he has images, like he's done it in a way that is very like curriculum. And I think that just appeals to everybody. We all went through grade school, right? Like, so if we've already been programmed to learn in a specific way, and he's just appealing to that, but he's teaching people kind of risque stuff.
He's an excellent communicator. Like, what I'll tell you this much. You know, I won't say who, but somebody in my life was like, hey, like, what's going on with all this, you know, the Israel stuff that like, you know, I'm reading all these things, like, what's the story here? Guess whose videos I send? Ian's. Because if I send some other person, if I send anything from Nick Fuentes, it's going to be like, you know, he says a bunch of wild shit.
It's inflammatory, right?
Inflammatory. Like, there's a lot. Yeah. There's a lot.
Ian also not just knows how to present information, he knows how to collect information, right? So he's giving you sources, and like sources that appeal to you. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, every time he makes a claim or says something, he backs it up. He backs it up, and he'll show you on the little TikTok. He does this little number right here, like, you know, he sees that thing. He's like, if you look right here, like, that's my Ian Carroll present, you know, impression. But I'm just saying, like, he knows how to present the information. He does it in a way that doesn't feel you know, like I'm entertained by Myron. Don't get me wrong. I'm entertained by Myron. I think, and he does say Myron says a lot of real shit. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, the way he delivers it is like, there's no way I'm going to share this with somebody who's like not in that sensitive spirit. Yeah. Yeah. Like your mom, or like
sensitive. Yeah.
Right. So that's why he's grown so much. It's because he's an effective communicator, and he makes it really easy to understand what's going on. He knows how to break it down. He shows the sources. Like, you can complain all day long about, you know, Whitney Webb not being bigger and everybody should read her book. But it's like, listen, man, people got lives. Like people are doing shit. Like we don't want to. We're not. I'm sorry. I'm sure. I mean, Whitney Webb's doing the real work and all that stuff, and great, and it's fantastic and it's important. But at the same time, like, my ass be drinking beer on a Friday night.
It's Friday,
watching the
bro.
Slime Family Stone documentary. I ain't got time to read Whitney Webb.
Why not?
What are you talking about? I'll read that shit. That should be our next book review. We should read it.
Shit. I mean, Ian Carroll saying he read it 3 times. He's still trying to figure that shit out because it's like it's that dense. Hey, look, I'll give you another example. Scott Horton. Okay, he is by far the definitive person that literally wrote 2 books about American foreign policy. Okay. And wrote the book on Ukrainian, like he has a book called, Provoked, about the Ukraine, like our role in provoking Ukraine and Russia and all this shit. Right. I'm sorry. I'm going to listen to Dave Smith summarize that shit. I'm going to listen to Martyr Made freaking do his podcast. I ain't going to read. I'm sorry, Scott, if you're watching. We love to have you on the show though, but I'm just saying, I ain't reading no Scott Horton, super tome with like, he said he has 7,800, sources in that book. I'm like, I ain't reading that shit. I'm ignorant. All right. I am an ignorant Indian. I'm not going to read that shit. I'm going to listen to podcasters summarize it for me. And they're going to get the views. I'm sorry. My bad guy.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so torn on what I should say right now, right? Because like we do book reviews, right? So like, am I supposed to now tell you? Yeah, like am I going to be like, no, bro, go read the book? Like, yeah, I mean, people should still read books.
You can audible it. That's fair. I'll count that.
I mean, it's a big book, man.
Look, but if you're listening to it,
and
I mean, look, even listening to it, if Ian has read it 3 times and he's read it and he's not grasping it.
Well, he's just saying
I don't know if the audio book is gonna, there's
a lot of details. Shit, man, we were gonna do Machiavelli, and you and me were both snoozing fresh, and that's not even that big a book. The Prince.
AI needs to just like take one more step forward, so you can just upload a whole book, and it could give you like every important detail of the book and cut out all the fat.
Yeah.
Because right now, if you like fucking do a quick notes of some fucking book, you're gonna miss out on a lot of stuff. But
yeah, I mean, you gotta tell them to take out all the fat and rewrite it, but in that writer's style, just without the fat.
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you right now.
So then it's condensed.
I'll tell you right now. If I ever find a subject that I'm so passionate about, I'm going to write a freaking, 1,000-page tome, and I'm going to have thousands of sources cited in it, right? I'm going to release that book, and then but to get the views, I'm going to take my book and throw it in AI, summarize that shit, and then I'll make freaking Ian Carroll videos, all right? I don't care how you get the information. If you want the real deal, I'll just be like, yo, read my book if you really want to get into the super details of this shit and look at all my sources. But if not, just watch my YouTube videos, watch my TikToks, and you'll get the same shit.
You'd be better off playing, like having a video of people, like the gaming videos of people like building in Minecraft, and just having like audio from your book and then have it cut off and then put the book link in there. Like, if you want more, here's the link. That'd be better. The brain rot technique might work better for that, bro.
You see that there's kids that study like that?
Yeah, dude. Or like their favorite influencers will be AI'd to be trying to teach you stuff about like math and science.
Or it'll also be like overlaying, bro. It'll be like a fucking Subway Surfer video, and then the text is of like the book. Or like the information, they'll like do the quick notes on top of the fucking shit, and it'll read it to them in an AI voice
while they're watching brain rot content. Yeah, insane. Honestly, I realize like sometimes I'll get caught up in those videos. I understand why they work because there's something visually appealing going on. Sometimes they're like those videos of people like cutting rubber or like cutting through wax or like, you know what
videos.
I mean? Yeah, and that will be playing, and then there will be like the fucking the scrolling audio or whatever going down the screen, and you're just like, you're hooked because there's so much.
I was just gonna say that's
so
the hook, right? Because like when you first get to the video, you're not like, oh, what's this person saying, right? The first thing you're doing is like, bro, is that press compressing like a 1967 Chevy outside? You know what I mean? Like what the fuck is going on here, bro? And then all of a sudden you're like, yo, what is this guy saying? Yo, this is pretty fucking interesting. Now you're double hooked. You know what I mean? Like then he gets a chance to say his hook without it having to be in the first like 2 seconds.
Yeah, listen, any way you can get the info, they get the info. What do you care? And that's why whoever's making that's getting the views. I'm sorry. It's more interesting. It's better.
Millions, bro. They got me.
Yeah. So
they got me, bro. I watched a Minecraft video talking about an ex-girlfriend relationship in the audio. I'm like, what am I even fucking watching right now? But I'm watching it because I'm watching the Minecraft. I'm like, this is interesting. And then I'm listening. I'm like, the fuck am I doing?
I mean, listen,
you get hooked.
Listen, that's the way we're gonna, view the Epstein files. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're gonna read and learn about all the things in the Epstein files. If we can, actually get it released at all. You know what I'm saying?
Scrolling words over GTA 6 gameplay.
Yeah.
We'll get GTA 6 before we get Epstein files. That's my prediction.
Oh shit. All right, let's talk about this. Well, first of all, put a cap on Ian. Look, yeah, he talked about all this shit. Definitely talked a lot about Epstein, and all the things going on. I mean, okay, with the Epstein stuff. Okay, so first thing is promises made, promises definitely not kept. We got a bunch of bullshit from these fucking, influencer, whatever people with binders that had nothing in them. Okay. Already had shit we already knew. Then you got Pam Bondi saying, oh, there's a bunch of stuff in New York. This magical freaking SDNY building. Like, I'm sick of hearing, what is this place? All right, a freaking lair, like a freaking, Dr. Evil lair or something. They got all the stuff there. The Hunter Biden laptop, the Anthony Weiner laptop, all these laptops. I'm sick of hearing about it. And the stupid Epstein files. And then they're like, oh, I put a request in, a strongly worded letter to get these things by 8 a.m. Like, dude, you're the AG and you got Kash Patel. Get your ass over to that fucking building and kick everybody out of there and go to town. Stop fucking around.
Right. Bring the military, Secret Service, FBI, all of them.
Bro, they have it. They have it. Because she said she had it on her desk.
Okay, no, so
they have it. What I think happened is when he got into office, he's like, all right, bro, let me see these Epstein files. We got to release them. And then he saw something. Now, I'm not saying it's something that implicates him at all. I'm not trying to insinuate that at all. What I'm saying is there might actually be something. Like they said that it's going to be redacted for national security. There might actually be something that people are not supposed, like the public shouldn't see. And it is their job to do what's best for the public, right? Like I understand that is also a slippery slope of like who decides what's best, but you know what I mean? Again, not us.
All I want to know is, are they redacting any names that rhyme with Frinton? Or
no, his name is on the list. You can see it on the current documents that we currently have.
Or Snow Llama.
Okay, let's go through some of the scenarios of what could be happening here. Okay, all right. The worst case scenario, I think, is it's an active cover up. Might be because, who knows? I'm just saying, Trump's been seen with Epstein at things. Now, cops came out and said when they asked about Epstein, Trump was very cooperative. Was one of the first guys to say, yeah, let's talk about him. Right. So you know, and there haven't been any victims that are credible that have come out and said that Trump did anything untoward. Okay, so
and there is on file, there is record of Trump kicking him out of Mar-a-Lago, right? Mar-a-Lago,
yes.
because he was being fucking creepy.
Yeah, he was creeping on a 16-year-old of one of his business partners, something like that. So, but I mean, if we're saying absolute worst case scenario, it's that, you know, Trump's wrapped up in this thing and it's an active cover-up. That's one scenario. Second scenario, which a lot of people believe is what's really happening, is that, you know, Epstein, like we said before, linked to, you know, it's pretty obvious he was linked to some sort of most likely Israeli intelligence service. They're trying to save face. They're trying to redact anything that has to do with the actual operation itself and what it was designed to do, and it being a blackmail operation and all that kind of stuff. That there's an active, they're trying to like hide that component of this whole picture, because, and that's what could be the national security thing that she's talking about. It's an intelligence operation, and they don't want to reveal what that is.
It's only a national security problem if there are people in our government that are implicated. That's why it's a national security problem.
Well, I mean, our government is very much influenced by Israel and the Israel lobby. So I could see people trying to protect Israel in this scenario, trying to not make it public knowledge that it was an act of.
That's not our nation. So that's an international security problem.
Sure. I mean, it depends. Is she lying or not about it being in our national interest? Because a lot of people believe Israel is in our national interest. So I don't know. That's another scenario that is a bad scenario. But then, and this might be what's going on, man. Listen, I'm Kash Patel. I'm Pam Bondi. All right. I don't really know what's going on. We show up, we grab these files, we start looking in the files, and we go, oh shit. Some motherfuckers be doing some crazy stuff. Some motherfuckers be doing these frazzle drips. Some motherfuckers be doing these, you know, like wild things. You know, some of these people, you know. So my hope, this is what I hope's going on, is that they got to build cases. You can't just like dump something and then be like, you know, if you like, you don't want to sabotage your ability to make a case with some of these people, right? You're going to want to grab the information. Okay, here's the stuff that we can present publicly, but anything that's going to be involved in a military court martial, you know, like all this Q stuff, anything that's going to be involved in like, you know, a military tribunal, anything that's going to be involved in treason, anything that's going to be involved in you know, some serious like for instance, you know, if it's a trafficking network, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to give up the goat too early. Okay, you're gonna want to say, you know, hold that stuff, do the investigation, build the cases, and then like we were saying before, hey, like boom, all at once, you know, get in there and take everybody down. So that's the only that's the best case scenario.
Check this out. There's no way that Diddy and Epstein weren't somehow in connection. Diddy is was one of the most influential people in the music industry. Mm-hmm. And there's no way that they didn't have some sort of connection. So maybe we're already seeing the dominoes fall in place and like there's more being built here. Like you said, they're building a case, but they're arresting people that they know for sure they already have irrefutable evidence that they've done wrong. And then, because you remember there was a report that after Pam Bondi got the files, and then they all made this post, even Anna, she made a post about how the Epstein files were not, those were already previously released files. Right. Everything was anything that you see is not going to be what you're asking for. And then I saw that there was like a report of like 1,000 of a truckload of documents that showed up to Pam Bondi's office after that. So she got the Epstein files. They realized that it was not the documents that they were looking for. And then I saw a report that they got like a shit ton of documents, like an insane amount of evidence that they would obviously have to go through. thousands and thousands.
Likely on purpose, bro. Likely this is like what a lot of this scramble shit is, to try to like give them so much that they might overlook shit.
Yeah. So I'm of two minds. And to me, it's one or the other. Okay. We're either looking at what we've been dealt with the last however many years. These things just disappear. They've been destroyed. They've been deleted. Hunter Biden laptop, whatever. Hum Abedin, Anthony Weiner laptop. You had Sidney Powell come out years ago saying, that laptop had all kinds of crazy stuff on it. It made like cops puke. There've been they said the cops are being assassinated over. I don't know. Okay. So either there's an active cover-up going on and they're in on it, or I think it's three scenarios actually. Either it's an active cover-up. They're like, Israel's involved in this stuff, whatever, whoever's involved in it, we got to shut this down. Nobody's going to see shit. Sorry, people. You're never going to see all the files. End of story. So it's either that, and we have precedents for that, JFK files. And there's never been anything said about Israel's involvement in JFK and, Jack Ruby and all that shit. All right. So it's either scenario one. That's scenario one. Scenario two is they open the Pandora's box and they realize, okay, there is some real shit going on. And they're now building like an entire operation that is not just going to be, it's going to be the Q thing. It's not just about the department, the, what do you call it? The AG's office and all that shit. It may be military shit, treason, and
it might have to be. Like, if you really think about it, like if Hollywood was completely captured, if the people in the government are completely captured by blackmail, and if this open border policy that we've been running for 4 years was also actively a part of the human trafficking network that was going on too. Like, people need to understand that millions of people came across the border in 4 years, like 20 million people. Can we account for all of them? And how many of them were children and women?
Look, I seen a pretty convincing video maybe 2-3 days ago of a man who looked exactly like Epstein chilling in Israel. And I mean, listen, bro, I'm just saying, maybe that hard to even hide him,
or is he turned, evidence for white hats? It's again, what I'm saying is there's the black hat view, which is that government's captured by whoever, whether it's an Israel element or whatever, right? It could be corporate interests, like, whatever. It could be monetary interests, famous like world bankers and shit. All right. So, it's like, okay, it's either that or it's the white hats are in control, as Q says, and they have found the treasure trove. And now they got to, when you say national security, right? National security is like treason and shit. Like people have been betraying state secrets. That's national security. And you would not want to give up who you're not going to out the mole. You're going to work, you're going to RICO, you're going to RICO it up and build a case and you're going to have to present it to the American people in a way where everybody, like, the evidence is clear that it's airtight. There's no room for, MSNBC type tricks and shit. It's like, no, here it is. Boom.
Speaking on what you just said, because I want to capture your moment. I saw a report today that 2 active duty people were arrested for selling government secrets, and like I think Pam Bondi. Maybe you're right. Maybe there's like much more going on, and it's a huge web, and they are slowly picking people off. They're starting small and getting as much intelligence as they can. Yeah. I mean, that's what we could hope, that there's actually going to be some kind of justice.
If that's a scenario, it's gonna be something where kind of like Diddy, it's gonna happen overnight. It's gonna seem like nothing's happening because you want people to think nothing's happening. Like your enemies or whoever's doing this crime, you want them to think nothing's happening, and then you're gonna observe them, and you may even catch them in the act, and then you use them to get to. And so I could see it being like a Rudy Giuliani New York style massive sting operation. They're letting people get away for however many years, and then at some point they're like, boom. And then when it happens, it's a huge fucking deal.
I mean, look, that goofy little fuck had, well, not little, but that goofy fuck had a picture of Bush playing with a fucking paper airplane. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm trying to say? Like, who knows who's going down, bro? And you know what I'm trying to say, bro? Like, this is...
If you're talking former presidents of the United States,
yeah, it's a little bit
House,
different, right? Like, it's not exactly like release this right now. It's like when they're in The Hague, we're gonna let you know. You know what I mean?
To be fair, there's no precedent for it. Like, there's never been, and I can't think. Is there ever been a time in the United States where, like, a massive sting corruption operation of the highest level of individuals and officials, like that, in my opinion, that goes beyond the AG. It's going to involve military. It's going to be military.
Even like, look, bro, this is so what I did was I took the list that they gave us and I had an AI extract just the names and how many times they appeared on the list and then put them in order. You don't think a lot of these names are like likely going to be politicians and stuff? Like, watch, bro, look at this guy, bro. How many times did he fly the Lolita Express, bro? You know what I mean?
Look, right. That's the national security risk. That would solely be the one, because Bill Clinton directly had access to everything United States government. He was goddamn president, right? Mm-hmm. So who knows what kind of information he could have been giving during that time. Monica Lewinsky been tied to Mossad. You know, like there's a lot of things here.
Yeah,
that,
I mean,
that
look,
tie into all this shit that could be a part of the whole thing. That it could have started before Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey was just a cog in the machine, and that's why when Kash Patel even talked about the JFK files, and he's like, "There's a lot of stuff in there that has to do with things that you wouldn't even think have to do with JFK's assassination." He says that.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, this could be a huge actual web, a conspiracy.
Well, think about his connection, right? Likely he wasn't doing shit until he met Ghislaine.
Right.
Until he met Ghislaine's father. He might not have even met Ghislaine first. That might have been a setup as well by the father and him and this whole thing. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. How deep does it go? Who's the top of this? Because father's Mossad, right?
We know 100% that the former prime minister, Ehud Barak, I think is his name. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but photographed literally going into the Wexner residence, which is, you know, the Epstein residence, right? So again, as much as I'm like, give us the files now, drop the PDFs, I'm like, listen, if there's like some real treason shit going on and has been going on, like, this is a military issue. Like, this is going to be people are going to be tried in military court for treason. And, you know, now,
brother, do you see what I highlighted here?
Oh, the Secret Service, four Secret
Service flew there 6 times.
So that means that Bill Clinton or somebody was accompanied by Secret Service.
And Bill, that means Bill would have at least went there 19 times without them. If he's the sole purpose for the secret security, if by what we've seen so far, it's just Bill, then bro.
Yeah. Again, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like people are, and I don't want to keep justifying it because who knows? It could be it could be the first scenario where
and look at how many of these are there, bro, where they're just initials.
Right.
They don't show, you know, like there's a lot of them that are just initials too, bro. Who's Lisa ? Bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Who's Robin ? Who's Carolyn ? Lori ? Like, who are these people?
Right.
And why are they ? Those might be victims.
Exactly. Maybe
the ones that don't have names might be the victims.
Passenger one, like, it's possible.
You know, because if it's an intelligence gathering operation, they're going to document all of the people who went by name, and then they're not going to document the people that were, being abused or any of that. They're not going to document that.
Yeah, but okay, but those people likely would have went one time, bro. Like, you get taken, you're only like these people are going 15 times, 17 times. Illegible went 17 times. It's illegible on purpose, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
somebody's like,
yo, think about this.
better make sure my
Someone's
fucking
like-
name is.
yeah, bro. Let me write the doctor's signature real quick.
Listen, those still could have been victims. That's my point. Is like 17.
You're right.
You're like, look how many times Bill Clinton was there. So saying a victim went 17 times is not out of the fucking question.
I mean, but but the same victim, bro, with the initials JK. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Once they found their end, bro, why would they give it up? That's why.
Look,
they got somebody. They're buying. They're
Virginia Roberts. Virginia Roberts is a victim, and she's listed 28 times. So, like, who knows? Who knows? It's a, I guess. So the only here's I think what the biggest crime is in terms of like Kash, Patel, Pam Bondi, in my opinion, and this is a zoom out moment. All right, this is a big zoom out moment. I'm going to teach this one to my kids someday. Big zoom out moment. There's a little old classic saying: under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. I'm going to say it one more time for my goats out there, all y'all out there. Under promise, over deliver in life. I was taught that lesson in my entrepreneurial life.
I'll take it further and say promise nothing and give everything.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, don't give any words on what you're going to do, but then give it your all and let the results speak for it. Because
look, if you're creative, I don't want to hear nothing about nothing with what you're doing. Just show up with it. All right. I don't want to hear about, I'm about to go do this cool thing, or we're about to in NFTs and crypto. Oh, you're gonna drop the NFT and then we're gonna go blah and we're gonna go blah. And I'm a little bit guilty of that. I'll be fair. To be fair. Although
just do it, bro. Just do it, man.
Just do it. Don't say shit. Don't talk a big game. All right. Don't say you're gonna drop all the files and then give half a binder of whatever bullshit that we already seen, but that we already know exists. You know what I'm saying? Kash, I'm sorry, man, but you can't be saying you're going to shut down the FBI building. All right? Day one. I don't want to hear no more day one talk. I want no more day one talk. Take your days.
I do want it soon, though. No, I want it soon. Like, I'm not waiting 365 days. I want to start seeing some results.
You're waiting as long as they tell you you're waiting. How about that?
I mean, I don't have any choice, but what the point is, what I want is they have documents already that implicate people for sure. I'm sure they have video and maybe photo and other evidence. Those people should be already arrested, and not only arrested, announced to the world, we've arrested the first people in connection with the Jeffrey Epstein case. Here are their names. Why should they do that? Because one, scramble time. Anybody that was involved, they're going to freak the fuck out. And I want to see that because the FBI wants to see that too. Perfect. They're setting the stage. They tell everybody we've caught these people. And if they just get the right people that are connected to everybody, if they just arrest like some of the middle people, right? That like one step up, they've got the next highest level, and a step down, they've got all of these other people. A handful of these conspirators in the center, and they say we have them, and we have irrefutable evidence on these people. And they're in custody. I want to hear that.
Part of me, I feel what you're saying, man. I kind of feel the same. But then there's a part of me that's like, listen, I would rather, like, if you look at Diddy, look at Diddy. Nobody heard anything about Diddy before Diddy got arrested. There was no like whispers of
shit.
Nobody knew there was a case, bro.
Yeah.
But look, here's the other thing. Here's something that I want to put into perspective for you. Okay, let's just say right now, so the police or the government or whatever, they're building the FBI, whatever, they're building a case against you. Okay. Just you, Deezy. Okay.
All right.
Do you know how long that they're going to take to build that case against you before they come arrest you?
It depends on how much, what kind of evidence they have.
Absolutely not, brother. Listen, they started building a case on Young Thug since he was 12 years old. They have evidence from, yes, bro. They've been doing it. This is how Young Thug got caught. They had evidence since he was fucking 12. Okay. So 2-3 years, though, is the regular amount of time that they spend on a case. And if there's a project, like, for example, if there's a gang in your city and the cops are going to go take them out, the FBI is going to get involved and they're all going to take them out. This project, 2-3 years investigation, all this shit's got to be set up. At least everything's got to be set up correctly. Some of this shit is like 8, 10, 12, 15 years trying to set it up to take down the whole organization, right? We don't know what's in those files, bro. I understand and I agree. Like, I would love to see some people arrested. However, if you look at it logically, like, depending what's in there, this could take a lot longer than what we would like.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I'll just say this and then, you know, I'll shut up about it. But like, there's a really great Netflix documentary miniseries. I forget what its name, but I really recommend anybody out there is watch this series because maybe we can look it up, but it's about taking down the mob in New York City during the 80s, during the 70s and 80s. And that's where the whole RICO was originally started because of that. And Rudy Giuliani was the one who was the AG, I think, of New York. I think that's what it was.
Was it called Fear City?
Yeah, Fear City. Really, I highly recommend it. Like, watch that because that's the first time they used RICO to take down the mob. And they were following these guys for years. They knew that murders were happening. They knew that crazy, shady shit was happening. But they had to build an airtight case to take down the whole organization. And then when they couldn't, they made RICO up. I mean, like, that's where RICO comes from. So again, I agree with you. I'm not saying against what you're saying, Deezy. Obviously, like, I want to see heads roll. And we've been told for years, especially the Q stuff, which I was following back in the day. And now it's like, golly, how many years that shit's been going on?
But the thing about what you're saying is, like, allowing these people that they have clear-cut evidence on to continue to be existing outside of the realm of, like, incarceration means there are going to be more victims. So you're allowing more people to be victimized because you need to build a case on the whole thing when you already have a case on very high-level people that you could immediately put an anti-travel on all the people that you have a case you're building on. You could fucking tell that.
No, you can't. No, you can't. So here's the thing, bro. This becomes an ethics versus the case thing, right? Your ethics could cost you the case. Am I saying I wouldn't do it? No, that's a whole different conversation. Do you want people to get arrested? Do you want heads to roll? Yes. But again, this is where your ethics get in the way and possibly cost you the whole thing. And if you just take out 4 or 5 or 10 or whatever, but it doesn't crumble the organization. You're just cutting the head off the worm, and the worm has another head, bro. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? It's just, it keeps going.
More than like 100,000 people in this organization that are, like, actually doing stuff. And I'm talking globally, right? Like, it's not 10 million people that are in charge of the human trafficking. I don't think that
let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, bro. If it is on the scale that you're saying, which I agree with you, okay? If it is on that scale, do you think that the FBI should blow up an international case to appease U.S. citizens' demands? Do you think that it's worth blowing up? Like, for example, you catch everybody that you can in the U.S., but now everybody else knows what's coming, and the ring itself doesn't go down, right? So, like, this is where the international security thing comes in, right? Like, there's other intelligence agencies across the world, and likely this case involves them because the case is international. So how can you just release those names, bro? It's not just like, fuck it, we're America, we want to see it.
And this ties into like everything, because human trafficking is coming from places of displacement. So where in the world is there displacement right now?
Ukraine.
Gaza, Ukraine. How much human trafficking is going on in those two places? Okay, so I had to take a step back and think about, like, I want to believe that Trump is America first, right? This goes back to Trump. Sorry to have to bring him up, YouTube. I know you're gonna fucking cancel us for it, but
bro, we already got smoked because our title was Andrew Tate. I've been trying to adjust the title like 3-4 times already throughout the
Oh, really?
episode.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, just fuck it, bro. Just listen, you can say Jesus is king. Just say all the things. Get it out of the way right now, bro. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't matter. Like they might as well just shut it down.
Do you have a minute to talk about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ? Anyways, listen. Imagine, right? Let's just say, like, let's hope and pray that Trump is the greatest guy. He's obviously got questionable past, but let's say he's turned a new leaf and he wants what's good for America, for sure, and he's willing to do whatever that means to ensure that we can have that. And sometimes that's going to involve like global things. And what if the whole Ukraine, sending aid to Ukraine and all of that was also a money laundering operation and also a human trafficking operation and also involved with all of this other shit? Like, the point of it is, like, I think that Epstein and Diddy are connected, but it's also connected to Ukraine and the Bidens. And then why does Hunter Biden have the 5-finger lakes tattooed on his back, where people go missing on an unprecedented scale? And like, why was he also in Ukraine as a energy consultant, and then money's being laundered? Like, it could be so big that
right,
it's going, but are they going to be able to do that in 4 years? If we're talking about,
bro, this is why he's trying to become king, brother. This guy wants to be a monarch. He's like, yo, to take this down, make me your king, make me your leader, bro.
Hey, listen. We got Eric Trump. We got Donald Trump Jr. We got Ivanka. We got Barron. It might take 20, 30 years to do this.
Hey,
thing.
listen.
That's
you want to know something, bro? You want to hear something? If we had 2 kings, one in the US and one in England, I would want Canada to be part of the American crown. I'm just saying, bro. Dude, I don't want to be part of Britain. If there's 2 crowns, I'm good. King Trump, bro. It is what it is.
Listen, I'm telling you, it'll be king. It'll be the Trump family. And so long as there's enough stuff done that puts Trump in a positive light, it may be a 20-year case. And we're gonna.
Bro, this is the thing. That's likely the only way you can do that. Like, how do you take this down? And so
deputize the military, and you fucking have an operation where you're tracking all those people on the list all the time, and you decide we're gonna arrest all of them, and we're gonna dispose.
What do you think that takes, bro? 6 weeks? 8 weeks? How long has he been in?
They could do that in 48 hours if they took.
Absolutely not. They just, bro. Pam Bondi just got the fucking information, brother. They need to go through this shit.
You know that the FBI and the CIA have had all of this information since Epstein's been arrested. They did a raid on his house. They have the documents, the video footage.
Well, here's the thing.
Patel wasn't in there.
Listen,
they were involved. That's the thing, is the CIA and the FBI was probably involved in all this.
Exactly, bro.
A part of national.
This is what I'm saying. Kash wasn't in there. So like all these people that are look, maybe it's a little idealistic, but if this is just going on the premise of he is doing this, then the people that he appointed have to have time to do their jobs. I understand. Again, we want this shit in fucking 2 months, 3 months. I get it, bro. But like, I mean, also, it's been 2 months. This is a fucking international op, right? Well, I mean, you have to militarize a lot of people and you have to figure out logistics of how you're doing this really quick. You have to understand, bro, if you do this, you're going into Britain and all these different places to get all these people, or coordinating it with their intelligence agencies. He's had 2 months in office, and Kash hasn't even been in there for 2 months, right?
But here's the thing. If you believe, if you know, some people still do. I don't know if I'm in it, but you know, the Q stuff started in 2016, like when Trump got elected, right before he got elected. Okay. There's some weird shit that's been happening with, they call them deltas, for anybody who doesn't know.
Listen, the Q
where
stuff
there's some weird deltas that are
accurate.
coming true.
Yeah. So the Q stuff gets more accurate as time goes on. It gets if you were watching it, because listen, bro, I was with you on, I know we've had a conversation, but 2016, I was following that shit and listening to everything that was going on. And then I think that most of us by 2020, when Trump lost, we're like, fuck, it's over. Right? Like a lot of people in the queue following that story, just like paying attention and trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with that. About in 2020, everyone's like, fuck, I'm over it. We have to wear masks now. We have to leave our job because they're trying to force vaccines on us. Joe Biden won. You know, it's over. Whatever. But as that passed, and then it goes on, like you said, the deltas and specific things that happen at certain dates with certain times, like the things that have been said are becoming more accurate as time goes on, which the shot heard around the world, like, you know, there's a lot of different stuff. The first arrest will be that's one of the phrases, like the first arrest will shock the world or something like that.
I mean, it's hard with that stuff. There's so many different things. Some of the things that, and people make all these predictions. The ones that really get me are like, I think Hillary Clinton changed her header to an image, and that image coincides with a Q drop that was like, you know, on the date a couple of years ago. So it's like, it's hard to say. It could be Nostradamus shit. It could be, you know, for real. I don't know.
That's false prophet shit, bro.
Sure,
listen, man.
I mean,
that's you can't, bro. You can't.
It
like,
goes
what do you
into
mean?
like it goes, the whole idea of the QAnon, if I had to summarize it for the 13 people currently watching us right now, is that the military asked Trump to run for office, and they had an op going where they had all these traitors and insiders, and they have collected a huge amount of information on a bunch of people in the government and Hollywood and just super rich, influential people. And they asked him to run because they need him to help conduct this military operation. And in it talks a lot about different things that happen when this starts to happen, when people start getting arrested and the build up to it. And it includes Trump becoming president. And then there's a lot of stuff about voter fraud. So then when we got into 2020, there was a lot of weird shit. And then it gets into like detail about who is involved on the highest levels and declassification. There's a lot of different taglines that can continue to repeat through. And then when you start to see those in the news cycle, it always correlates with some kind of date tag or number tag. There's a correlation with the post. So it's not just like somebody typing in something on the internet and then in the future it happens to come true. Like the time that it was posted correlates with the time that
all coded. Like Q drop shit, it's all coded, bro. Yeah.
But it's like certain things. People, the challenge with it is like people make predictions, and then those predictions don't happen, and then you get disillusioned. It's like, look, so that's why I kind of resign myself to be like, hey, if it happens, fucking great. But I'm not gonna sit here and be like, okay, following influencers saying like, oh, on this date, this thing's gonna happen, and then it doesn't happen. They just keep getting blue balled constantly on all this stuff. But what I do understand is like, hey, if it is real and it is an operation and it's of the magnitude that we're talking about, and it involves treason by people at the highest levels of government and international trafficking networks and all this shit, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. That's all I'm saying. All right. So all I'm saying to whoever's working on this stuff is it's cool. Just don't say anything. Just stop saying shit. and let people get mad, but at least you're not over promising and under delivering, because that's what gets people going crazy. Is when you over promise and under deliver. That's already happened.
And what if? And let's kind of discuss this, bro. What if that was a psyop too?
Could be.
What if scenario 4 is we're being psyoped again, and everything is end up in a disillusion? There's going to be something crazier that happens, like a world war, and everybody's going to forget about the giant human trafficking network that exists around the globe, and then we're all going to be focused on fighting a world war instead, and it will continue to happen on a greater scale, because now there are huge areas of land and countries that are involved in war and bombings, and people people going missing all the time. Like, then the network.
I get you, man. Listen, we don't know. We really don't know shit. At the end of the day, we don't know. It could be that like this whole Russia-Ukraine thing has to be taken care of first. You know what I'm saying? You got to take care of this Russia-Ukraine thing first. If you don't take care of that first,
imagine, yes. Yes.
Right? And then
imagine they try to pull that up, and then they go in and they try to arrest all these like people on this Epstein list, for example.
And they literally start a third world war.
Right. Either start a third world war or like allow the war to be started. Someone like Russia or China or someone unexpected takes advantage of the fact that U.S. military all out of the U.S. right now, and they just fucking invade the U.S.
Right. There's who knows what, I mean, something of this magnitude, there's a lot of things that can happen that could be really crazy. How many millions of random illegals came in the country? There could be a whole sleeper cell network of, deep state motherfuckers ready to go to town, to distract from whatever.
6 to 7 million a year for 4 years, bro.
Yeah, who knows? There could be tons of sleeper cells here. Mexican cartel sleeper cells that are willing to,
they don't even have to be most of those people weren't even like Mexicans.
Right.
That's the thing. Right. Most of the illegal immigrants, they weren't Mexican people. So the Mexican people that are up and fucking inflamed about this, like the thing about the last 4 years is there are people from almost every country in the world that came in, right? This is not about where you're from. It's about where you're coming to.
Right. Well, listen, another example of this is USAID and Doge. Why is Doge digging through all the numbers and the books and all that shit? Well, who's funding shit? If you have a sleeper cell network, they're getting paid by somebody, but in the deep state. So guess what? We're not going to dump that Epstein shit just yet. Maybe because we got to cut the money off and find out where all these sleeper cell motherfuckers are and where they're being paid and follow the money. So,
you're right.
That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is
the coyotes, there's people reporting on the border that the coyotes charge like $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to get somebody across the border. Where the fuck are these people coming up with $20,000? Right. Like how are 20 million people came up with $20,000, $10,000 to get trafficked across the border? Who paid for that? You're right.
Hey, look, Larry, we had Larry on the show, Larry Ton, shout out. I don't know if he's watching or not, but he went straight to the source and saw all this shit going on. So anyway, I think we got to move on from this topic because we got 2 more left. But again, I'm not assuming good, or it could be it's evil. Nothing's happening. It's plausible, right? It could be that they just need more time. It could be that there's a whole geopolitical thing that we gotta fix. All I'm saying is don't overpromise, underdeliver. That's all I'm saying. It's better to shut your mouth.
Do it right. I agree with Ravine. I don't care anymore, but get these motherfuckers. God damn it. I'm tired of it. Within 4 years, though. I can't be waiting 20 years, bro. I might die in 10. I don't know. Life is short. Before I die. Huh?
I said we might die tomorrow, bro, but I hope we see it.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like I wanted to see the day one, like Kash promised, but it didn't happen. It's okay.
It didn't happen. So stop doing that. All right, stop doing that one thing, and I think people will be like, all right, let's just see what happens. Although you do need to hurry the fuck up too, by the way.
Andrew Tate's back, motherfuckers. He's here.
They're going after Andrew Tate. So, they're doing something.
We have no involvement in that. I read about it through the media. clearly the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States. And I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. I do know our Attorney General, James Uthmeyer, is looking at what state hooks and jurisdiction we may have to be able to deal with this. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome.
Damn.
Yeah, but then what's this, bro?
Showed up.
Him popping up in Florida.
This is them getting out in Florida, bro. Like, honestly, it's hilarious. In my opinion, it's hilarious. I think you can't.
Well,
he's an American citizen. They're both American citizens. Sure. Unless they've actually committed a crime, you can't just be like, "Oh, you're banned from here, bro. We don't like
this." Right. How deep does the rabbit hole go? Right?
Tate's an interesting.
I don't want to fucking say that Tate did or didn't do anything wrong, because I've seen some
there's like
videos of Andrew Tate doing some pretty weird shit. But listen, I'm all for fetishes, so if that was the case, then that's what it is.
Okay, let's talk about this. Steve, hold on, Deezy. Let's talk about this first. All right, let's talk about this. This is gonna be a real hot take. The whole gender's not gonna like this take. The whole gender is gonna hate this take. All right, ladies, listen. Oh, I'm getting the spot. All right.
Shit.
No more grape soda fantasies. No more grape soda fantasies for women. It's done. It's over. All right. No more grape soda fantasies for the ladies out there. All right. You can take it off now. That's my hot take. That's my hot take. All right, listen.
What the fuck does that mean?
What that means is this. There are some videos of Tate getting a little rough. Just be real. Looking a little rough. Getting a little rough with some ladies. All right. I don't think Tate would deny that either. Okay. And again, I'm not judging. I'm not. All I'm saying is this. There's some rough tapes of him, using a belt and getting a little wild with a young lady, okay, who may or may not have been of legal age in Romania. I don't know. Okay. There are text message logs, official text message logs have been released where him and Tristan are talking a little rough about the ladies. Okay. Now, 30, 40 years ago, when there wasn't this like 50 Shades of Gray in the popular culture, it would have been a lock. I'm just saying, by those standards of that time, it would have been a lock on, these dudes probably did something that needs to go to the
40, 50 years ago, they didn't have video evidence.
Well, I mean, let's say, okay. Let's say in the 80s, they had a videotape of they had like a, what's his name? Rob Lowe style BDSM tape, right, back then. I actually saw YouTube where back in the day they used to trade tapes, right? And horror fans wouldn't have easy access to like Japanese horror movies, and it was like a lot harder then. Like now you can watch anything you want, on Netflix or whatever. But back in the day, if you wanted to watch like a really whatever Japanese horror movie, you literally had to live in a big city, and you literally had to go to a video store where they would trade tapes with other people across. You would send them a tape, and they send you a tape, so they get American horror tapes and all the shit. And I think Chris Gore, I'll have to find this, but like basically he got a tape of something that looks like a snuff film, but what it really was is that it's this really violent horror Japanese movie, and they cut off the first part of the movie and the second part of the movie, and they took out the soundtrack, so it looks like a snuff film. But when he got it, I guess the FBI somehow found out about it, and they like literally went up to him and was like, we gotta look at the tape and figure out what's going on here. This may be an actual murder. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, digressing. But what I'm saying is this, right? Back in the day, dude's doing a little roughhousing with a lady on film, talking a little wild with a lady on film, like you're
cooked.
You're cooked. You're a pimp. Somebody's going on. Something's happening. But now, with this 50 Shades of Grey culture, and all y'all saying like, no, I want you to be a nice guy to me, but I'm gonna go sell 50 million copies of this book where this dude's roughhousing. I'm just saying, grape soda fantasies. If you're like, why ain't they gone after Tate and done all this stuff? Hey, that's why.
Bro, Jack Harlow sums it up perfect, bro. I'm vanilla, baby. I'll choke you, but I ain't no killer, baby.
No grape soda. All right. Not even playing that way. Not even implying that. I ain't touching these fingers. Ain't going on no neck. All right. I ain't even doing a playful like pat on the butt. I'm like at that point now. Because you don't know, man. You don't know what's gonna happen. But on the flip side of that, though, because of all this grape soda stuff, fantasies and all that, compliance, whatever. That's why Tate can just say, "Hey, we was just playing around, babe. we just having a good time. We just playing. All right."
Look, she's the one who said we was just playing. It wasn't even him that said we was just playing first. She's the first one to say we was just playing. And then he was like, yeah, bro, we was just playing.
Look, that's why I'm like, look, I'm all for your fetishes. But listen, people, you should probably stop recording anything that could be potentially incriminating. You should stop recording that. The internet is forever. If you're gonna be whipping your bitch with like whips and she's tied up and she's like handcuffed and there's like, and she's screaming, but she secretly asked you to do that. That's great. Love it for you. Don't film that. All right. That's like,
what do you mean, bro? What did Kevin Gates say? I thought it was legal to beat your hoe. Shit, it's your hoe.
Oh my God, bro.
I'm just kidding, bro.
Motherfucker. Over some, he said it was. I don't know.
Listen, he's got some questionable. He's done and said some questionable things. So
highly questionable.
It
if
is.
Those text messages are real. Some of that shit is like wild, dude. Like stuff that like if it was my daughter or where I would fucking want to kill somebody. So I mean,
sure, but like, look, also, bro, like, please don't judge me by the person I was when I was 21. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't doing what he's doing, but like, also,
I mean, you
wouldn't call me a stand-up citizen.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. This is why I say no grape soda fantasies, because in grape soda talk, all right, I'm talking no grape soda. You know what I'm talking about? Grape soda, right?
Grape, just grape.
I'm not talking about the guy thinks I'm racist or whatever. Like, I'm not talking about that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
Well, that's why I asked you, because I was like, geez, you getting wild out here, bro. Like,
no, grape soda, the drink is great. Okay. I don't want anybody to think that I don't enjoy myself. Look, I got this recess.
But you are specifically talking about grape fantasies. Grape
soda. I'm trying to,
I understand. Okay. But like, listen, we're on the same page now.
We're on the same,
like, I actually understood a while back, but we're now on the same page.
We're not talking about beverages here. We're talking about,
no, I didn't think that though. Like again, when you first said it, when I first asked you, I was like, brother, because
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
This is how, look, I'm colorblind, baby. I didn't even think about that. It's all y'all.
Unless you're Indian.
There or racist. That's what's going on.
And bro, see, he's not racist, but you can't take the casteist out of an Indian. He's not that far removed yet.
Hey, now I ain't no Brahmin over here. All right, I ain't got no Brahmin blood over here. We straight up, I forget what we're called. We're not untouchables, but whatever. I'm just saying.
Can I borrow 3 minutes of your time for a comedic break?
Sure.
It's perfect for this.
You kids look like you could use a delicious fruity beverage. Who are you? Might I suggest Fizzy Pop's Grape Blast, the new soda from Johnson and Hedges? Open your line, kids, because I'm gonna grape you in the mouth.
Oh, no.
He's going to what them in the mouth?
He's going to grape them.
He's going to grape them.
Yeah, in the mouth.
Right.
Sure. There's more.
No, I'm sorry. All right, well, I'm not sure that I'm comfortable with the catchphrase, I'm going to grape you in the mouth for our new mascot.
Yeah,
I mean...
We're just not sure about that one. Yeah, we might want to workshop it a touch.
Really? Why? That's his thing. He grapes people. He grapes people in the mouth.
We're just not exactly sure that
He sneaks into little kids' rooms in the middle of the night, and he grapes them in the mouth.
Oh, my.
Okay, see, because...
That dude, I mean, he's got a...
Bro, the whole skit is fucking... It's fucking gold, dude.
You know that dude, right? He did the whole Illuminati skit, and then he supposedly fell out of a window and died.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he was trying to tell us something. I don't know.
There was more reason than one why I pulled that one up, but yeah, the later part of it is also hilarious. But yeah, dude, your grape soda. I'm sorry, it just
No, I know. I just like we were already toting the line, like that guy all over it. And
what are you talking about, bro? It's on YouTube. That's a YouTube video.
I know. Well, there's also that, but
listen, we're doing the right thing. We're saying no grape soda, not even playing around. All right, because when you do that, when somebody's acting rough, you don't know, is it just playtime or is it actually something they're doing that can be proven to be a crime? So I'm just saying you're playing fire. Hey, I mean, some men have that too, probably. I'm just saying, like, you're playing fire. No more of that. It's done.
Stop recording yourself doing incriminating things, bro.
Yeah.
It's not gonna. There's nothing by creating a case for yourself in court that's cool. There's nothing cool about that, bro. You're your own snitch. Think about that. They talk about how people are rats in prison, and you're literally ratting yourself out, bro. That's like,
yeah, bro. They make songs when they get out. They're like, somebody ratted on me. Yeah, somebody did. Your
Instagram story, you dumbass.
Well, hold on now. I'm going to say the second controversial statement here with Deezy. If you're, I mean, based on the Tate's example, if you get caught doing something, self-snitch like crazy. Like, take the self-snitch and go, like, here with it. You know what I'm saying? Because these Tates be, I mean, based on any standard, they be self-snitching, but nothing's happened yet. And they're hanging out in the U.S. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you
video allegation, I'd be like, ask the girl if she enjoyed it or not. If it really wasn't a thing, right? If it really wasn't a thing, if someone had a video of me doing that,
my problem is the other video.
I would tag her. I would tag her in it and be like, "Did we have a good time or nah?"
Sure, but like, there's another video of him saying like, "Yeah, I've been dating her since she was 15."
Yeah, that one is.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I started this all off with, I'm not defending Andrew Tate because there are some questionable things he said and did that leads me to believe that there could be a case built against him. So,
look, I just don't think there's one here in the United States that is active, that he's been charged with and found guilty of, where you can say, now, sir, you are not allowed in Florida. I think that that's against like the Civil Rights Act, I believe.
Sure.
So, I mean,
if he hasn't, look, he has not been convicted of a crime.
Not even charged with one.
Right. So, at the end of the day, it's innocent until proven guilty. It doesn't matter what you see. You can see super crazy shit. I mean, look, Casey Anthony has made it back in the news lately. I guess she's trying to, repair her reputation, be a public figure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, for all intents and purposes, she's an innocent woman. And
according to Grok, crimes against U.S. law or interests can be prosecuted for citizens who committed them abroad, even if they did those things abroad. And sex crimes involving minors is one of those things. Crimes involving child exploitation or sex tourism, even if committed abroad, can still be charged in the United States. So if he did those things, they can bring cases against him.
Yeah, but he hasn't, as far as I understand it, Romania has been trying to convict him. I don't know what the status of that case is, but you know, he hasn't been convicted of anything, and they haven't found anything, and you know, so if that's the case, then I mean, you can maybe you can say whatever in the court of public opinion, but it hasn't been found, so he has a right to be here. He's an American citizen. You know, if you don't like it, and then I do think that Florida was in. I mean, here's the other thing. Now, two things can be true at once. This is why I don't say, like, you know, down with Tate, because I'm like, Tate says a lot of stuff that's like stuff I agree with, you know. And I will say, in terms of like the manosphere and modern masculinity and stuff, I mean, say what you will about some of the things he says, and I think he does do some things in the extreme for a comedic effect, or not even comedic effect, more like, you know, if you're going to pull us here on the masculinity scale, well, I'm going to pull it this far so we can get to here. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I mean, he's done a lot of, I mean, this whole manosphere thing really is something that he's really blown up. And for a lot of young men, I think it is a good thing. I think it's reminding people like what it means to be a masculine person and those things, even if he can go, in my opinion, a little too far sometimes. But, you know, and hey, I mean, the other place I was going to go with this, he's one of the dudes who's been saying the real shit about the whole Israel thing. So it makes you wonder, like, okay, are they going after him? Because, you know, Desantis is a friend to the nation of Israel, you know, actively stated. Andrew's been talking shit about it. So are they opening a case against him because they want to shut him up? They want to they want to stop him from continuing to talk about what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I'm just, two things can be true at once too. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we welcome him back with open arms? Good to have him back in the U.S.
I mean, he's a U.S. citizen, then yeah, he deserves the same Bill of Rights that I get. So, but
I thought it was freedom, baby. You know what I mean?
Innocent until proven guilty.
Yo, but if he is guilty, they should immediately arrest him if they have a case.
Sure.
So if that was what Ron DeSantis was insinuating, because they do have some kind of case against him, and he's saying you're not welcome here because, you know, you're going to be arrested, then, and that's true, and they actually do, and it has nothing to do with his stance on the, because look, he's got a stance
then
about
what arrested him when he landed, bro. If you have the case and you don't arrest him when he lands, you're goofy.
Maybe, unless you're going to catch him in the act here doing something. He flew here for a reason.
I don't know. I didn't even realize he was an American citizen, to be honest. I always thought he was a British citizen.
I didn't either. Yeah, I didn't know that.
He's an American citizen.
Dual.
That's why I said he gets the same Bill of Rights that I get. So,
right.
But at the end of the day, if he's guilty of fucking some kind of human,
why would he go to like Dubai or something? He's going to leave the country. That's also a little weird to me. Like,
look, if he's really
a Middle Eastern nation that's wealthy or something, I don't know.
He should have went to Vegas, bro, where that shit's illegal.
Well, he is. He left Florida, and I believe he is in Vegas now because I know that he's doing.
See, well, okay, now he's almost incriminating himself. I'm just kidding.
I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things he says and talks about, and I think he has done a lot of net good in certain ways. But when I see those videos and this text, I'm just like, whoa, like this is dark. This is some dark stuff.
He definitely has a stance on women that is toxic overall for society. I don't think that the normal man should go around thinking about women the way that he thinks about women, because you're not going to have a successful relationship if that's the case. I really don't think that you're going to believe what he believes and like get in today's world. That's not. I
mean, I'll say this. I definitely don't want someone who is like dumb and subservient. I'd be bored out of my mind, and it would drive me crazy. I'm going to deal with somebody who's a child, and I have to constantly like take care of them like they're a child. It would drive me insane. So call me a modern, emasculated man.
That's not what that means. Like, this is the thing, right? It's like, I don't really want to go into this debate because like, I'm not necessarily saying like what you're perceiving him to say is right. However, like, I would want you to strong arm his position for me. Like, tell me what you think his position is on this stuff, because like what I see from him is not what you guys are
I
saying.
think that what his position is trying to be is like, you're the man of the house, you're the man of the life, you're the man. You know, you take the responsibility. Which
Like, I don't know
agree.
if, yeah, but
I
like,
agree
I also
with-
don't know if you've seen him say, like, so he exalts his woman, puts her on a pedestal.
Sure.
And if she wants to go to work, she wants to do all these things, he's not going to stop her. But that's not like, she doesn't have to fucking do that to survive. He's a multi-millionaire.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So I actually, like, I don't think that, I don't know. I don't think that what he says is like male, or you want a dumb woman to stay at home. Like, in fact, I think that he's an intelligent man, and he would want an intelligent woman.
At the same time that he says that about whatever, his woman or whoever that is, because obviously he's got multiple, he doesn't see himself as an equal to a woman in the sense that, like, in a relationship, you guys are both equally putting in the effort to create that, like, relationship. His whole ideology is that, like, you own it, you run it, which is great, but that's really not how life works. Like, there's still give and take and, like, compromise. Like, the realistic part of a relationship is never expressed in his ideology. And that's my problem, because I'm the man of my house. I'm in charge of the bills. I'm in charge of everything going on here. I'm doing all of the things, but I'm still emotional for my woman. Like, I want to be there and level with her. And, like, his whole ideology is like, you're above that. You're a man. You don't even bring yourself down to that emotional level. You're just fucking raw energy, emotion, and action. Like, that's really what he preaches.
I think you're misreading him, though. Because, again, I think what he's saying is, like, I do agree that there's a little bit of, like, he believes he's the king, and when he's away from home, he can fuck whoever he wants. I do believe that but I believe that he's saying that you don't give that to those bitches. Like, you're out here, you're being with everybody, you're doing all this stuff. You're not just whatever. But, like, again, this man has a wife, like a woman, and a child, like, or children. You know what I mean? Like, he's a father, he has a family. So, again, and, like, you see him portray it as well. And, like, he's very much like, I love my brother, and this, I have to, like, I think that, again, his message is lock in, make money, build a family, have babies, repopulate the world, be a king, be a champion, be a whatever. And I don't see that as, like, a negative thing. And I also, to speak on what you were saying, Ravine, I don't think that he wants a dumb woman. Again, I don't think he wants, like, some stupid, like, simple stand in the kitchen woman. I think it's just that, like, he likes the dynamic of, you're a woman, I'm a man, so you can stay home, you can do whatever you want. I don't believe that means if whatever you want is to be an idiot. I don't believe that that's what he wants, because he's like a religious man, so his woman would be his counsel, right?
Sure. Yeah, I think, I mean, some of the things
but he doesn't
says,
speak on that. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, some of the things he says.
That's my point. Is like, he doesn't say behind every good man is a woman. You know, like, he doesn't say that aspect of, like, the relationship. He talks about how being the man is the thing that is more important than anything else. Well, and that's where I'm at.
Okay, I mean, if he was on PBD podcast, I did catch a little bit of that, some of the shorts from that, and he does talk about the idea of, like, men have a role, and he believes in very clear, from my understanding, very clear gender roles. In other words, like, men and women are not. It's not, they have different roles. They're equal, but they have different roles. That's kind of what I got from what he said, you know, and I think that is a kind of a little bit of a change from what he'll do on X sometimes, where which I think is just really trolling. And sometimes the heavy troll comes from a position of all these other idiots out there who are, like, you know, trying to emasculate men and what we've dealt with in the culture
and what they say he is as well. Right.
So I'm not saying that I think he would want a dumb woman or anything. I'm just saying that, like, I guess, and I should give people more credit, because I think people are I hope that people are, you know, kind of don't just take his trolls as being, like, gospel. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some people do probably, but
But that's on you, bro. Like, because listen, again, like this is where people are so arrogant that they think that they can read one thing out of context, see one thing out of context, and pass judgment on this person's character. And then when they do it, like I'll say to you, oh, this guy's a fucking dickhead. He said this, and this. You don't like him now. You've never watched him. And now you tell people you don't like him. It becomes this big thing. You know what I mean? And like most people don't take the time to watch most of it, like a lot of his shit. And again, like, they're always trolling, always their lives. They're trolling all their shit. They're trolling. And
and I don't think Tate would go on like say Candace Owens podcast if he was like a for real, like women in the kitchen guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's opportunity, but
I don't think like he's necessarily a misogynist either. Like, but he does have this skewed perception of the world where like he almost comes above everything else, which it's not a horrible thing to have when you're thinking of it on a personal scale. But when you're putting that out there for, especially because a lot of his following is really young, impressionable males. And if I was 16, 17, 18 watching him and I was already a shithead, it wouldn't make my behavior better. And that's kind of
let me just put this scenario.
And I have watched a lot of Andrew Tate's
I know. So let me put this scenario to you, right? You're a 16-year-old kid, you're a shithead. You see Andrew Tate as this inflammatory guy, and you start mimicking this inflammatory shit, and you start looking at him as your idol, and then you start looking into him. And again, like if you watch a lot of his shit, you know, like he says a lot of fucking real shit. Like he's not really telling you when he actually is giving advice or somebody actually asks him a serious question and he actually answers it. He's not this whatever. So then you look into it and you're like, oh shit, this guy is actually like two sides of the coin. He's a troll, he's a joker, whatever, but his values align very much with like Judeo-Christian or Muslim values, you know what I mean? Which is the everyman's values. That's what most society is built on, right? And has been for most of time, right? It's only like recently that we don't look at those things as like a good thing and the thing that you would base like a household, a relationship, a family off of, right? So again, to me, I don't think that it's like necessarily bad, even if they mimic him as little shits, because they can. And then when they learn about him, the actual message is net positive, in my opinion.
Well, take everything you just said and say he's convicted of sex trafficking and human trafficking. Do you still take that stance?
Is he convicted of that?
I'm saying a hypothetical.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
yes. Actually, yes. Separate them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Listen,
I would separate them. Go ahead.
Two things can be true at the same time about a person, right? I mean, I'm trying to think of a corollary, an example. Maybe if somebody's been convicted, like you could look at Mike Tyson and be like, this, he was a great fighter, and in the overall story of his life, there's a lot to gain and learn about his story. You could also look at Mike Tyson.
At one point in his life,
this motherfucker had some great soda, at least according to the law. He drank some great soda, and not the kind.
We get it.
All y'all out there, don't call me racist, all right? I'm just saying, there's a period in his life where he really, he had a little bit too much grape soda, and it, he went to jail for it. All right, but does that make Mike a terrible person? Is he going to have to, whatever? He did his time, and there is an inspirational story there. You know what I'm saying? So,
and dare I say it, he's reformed. I'll be honest with you. I think that man is reformed. I think that he did his time, he paid his penance, and he's reformed. However, again, I agree. If you just look at this one piece of him, he's not good, or he, like, at that moment, he wouldn't be a role model. However, like, if you separate even that, the grape soda, and you just make it a crime, it's also inspirational, right? You were great at something, then you got fucking convicted.
Listen,
Like,
to play devil's advocate against against myself.
Person, bro. He literally keeps pigeons, dude. Like,
listen, to play devil's advocate against myself, though, this is the same shit people talk about with dictators. All right, so this is like the same shit they talk about with Castro. Like he freaking gave us all free education and free healthcare. You know, so but you know, I don't know. I'm just it's not black and white.
Right.
Let's just agree.
Right.
On that.
I agree. And like,
The question
even to speak to what you're saying, Deezy, like,
at what cost?
I would
The
separate.
question is, at what cost? What's a net positive, right? If he's been human trafficking, is his message really a net positive?
Well, yes.
Let's be
because
honest.
well, yes, yes. Because if the message is what I'm saying to you, then regardless of what's happening behind the scenes, what you're seeing is still a good message.
Listen, Deezy,
Caveat,
don't shoot the messenger.
This person giving you the message is not the messenger you want.
On the messenger, man. He's saying the real shit.
You know the pastor of the mega church? What's that guy's name? You're making a case for him right now.
Oh,
You're literally making it.
Oh my gosh.
If everything behind the scenes
the word of
well,
yeah, what do you mean, bro? Is he preaching the word of God?
Okay.
Yeah, well, if he's listen, if he's preaching the word of God, then separate the two. He committed horrible crime, but also preached the word of God. You know what I'm trying to say? The whole time he's preaching the word of God, that's not evil, because
preaching
he's
the word of God for your
benefit
benefit is blasphemy.
That's listen, collecting the money is the evil part. The word itself cannot be evil, right?
I mean, there were some, priests out there drinking a lot of grape soda, but they're also preaching the word of God. So at what point are you going to be like? Well, I mean, I'm not saying there's a clear answer here, guys. I'm just saying it's a good question. At what point are you irredeemable? At what point do you shoot the messenger?
This is why we're the GOAT Show. We're celebrating and debating.
Well, listen, the messenger dies, bro.
We're debating.
Grape soda happens. Yo, you pop the cap on that grape soda, you're cooked, B. You're cooked. But again, the word, like, for example, like you're talking about two separate things. This action and this action are separate. And like, there is not enough correlation for me to say that the word would cause grape soda to be opened. You know what I'm trying to say?
Not even texts about pimping these hoes.
Where?
I mean, ain't you ever sent a text where you're like, yo,
huh?
We got it pimping these hoes. Like, you never done that?
We out there pimping these hoes, bro.
That brings it back. That's that. Ladies, you can't be having these grape soda.
Who said that?
Fantasies.
Tate to Tristan.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, bro. Yo, listen, buddy. Again, not the guy to have this conversation with. Not saying I agree with, like, I'm not saying I would commit this crime. What I'm saying is, if these two adults are consensual, I believe in the freedom to do that shit. I'm sorry if I believe in total freedom. I just really do.
Sensual fetishes. That's great. You could do whatever you want.
This is a show right now.
No, dude, we're good. Dude, the viewer count keeps going up.
Piles grape soda.
Tell me, bro. Prove me wrong.
Freaking grape.
Prove me wrong. Fuck viewership. Prove me wrong.
No,
if they don't, if they don't agree, prove me wrong. Comment how I'm wrong. Prove me wrong.
Listen. No, I listen. It's not an easy question. It's not really an easy question. I'll be real. You know what I'm saying? Like some of my heroes that have influenced my philosophical, like, core of my being, had weird fetishy things going on. I say no grape soda, but like one of my biggest inspirations, you all know, is Ayn Rand. Bro, her personal life, like the stuff she like you read her books, you read The Fountainhead, or you read Atlas Shrugged, and the intimate scenes in those books, and these were written in the 50s. And you're like, whoa, this, like, even by today's standards, it's like,
brother, you think
great philosophers coming in there and just
do you think that, like, great philosophers of their times were sitting around there stone cold sober, pondering? Bro, they're all fucked up on shit. And also, second of all, you ever give somebody advice about something, for example, health, and be like, and have a belly? You know what I'm saying? You ever, like, right? You know what I'm trying to say? So you can fucking know some shit and not put it into practice. And humans are great at that. So again, like I'm just saying.
I mean, to be fair, flip side of that is you should. I mean,
you should.
Yeah,
you should. Absolutely, you should. I agree.
Definitely be doing it.
I agree. But again, now we're talking about our own personal morals, right?
That's integrity. That's a value. Integrity.
Yes, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree. However, we know that a lot of humans do this in general all the fucking time. You have some information, you're like, yo, bro, if I just do this thing, I'll be this much better me. And then you haven't done it yet, but then someone else is like, yo, I have this problem. You're like, yo, you should do this thing. You haven't even done it. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, so you not doing the thing and you not putting it into practice doesn't mean the advice is bad. It just means you're not putting it in practice.
I will say this. I do think that you should not be an authority. You should not pretend to be an authority on something for which you are not, in which you are, and for which you are not displaying. So for instance, like, you know, there's no secret. I mean, we're looking at nootropics and, you know, methylene blue, and I'm probably going to take it. I'm looking at TRT stuff, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. But like, you know, if we're going to have someone as a guest on the show, like I'm going to bring a guest on the show. I'm not going to say, hey, here's exactly what you need to do with TRT and blah, blah, blah. One size fits all. I'm going to be like, look, let's talk to somebody who really is the expert in this shit, you know, and understands the physiology. You know what I'm saying? So that's one element of, and I'm not saying specifically Tate, but the manosphere, I think, is that there's a part of me, it's like, well, if you really want to have a marriage that lasts for 50 years, like, you might want to talk to some people that have marriages that have lasted a long time. Like, that's why when you were talking to Larry Deezy about, you know, he's been married for however many years, 20 years or whatever. Like, that's a good question. Like, you know, that's the person to ask, because they've been through that. Now, I'm not saying, I don't know how long Tate's been married and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I mean, and then there's something else to be said where, like, hey, listen, like, you can look at the great figures of history, you know, and how they lived, and then you can learn from that. So I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
okay, let me ask you a question. Could you be good at all of this? Okay, could you be good at all of this and then not good at this and still teach about this?
Sure.
Fuck up over here. So I'm just saying, this is, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, it's way too not so black and white. Like, the nuance is nuancing. Like, you know what I mean?
And I'll say one thing real quick because I know DZ wanted to say something, but you know, in like 12-step programs, you know, they tell you, like, even if you have one day over somebody, if you've been sober for one day longer than somebody else who hasn't been sober, you still have value to offer by speaking of your experience. So there is that idea as well. But I don't know. We definitely. I mean, I guess we're going 3 hours, boys. But go ahead, DZ. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was just gonna say, like, what Fresh said when he was like doing his spirals separately.
Oh, don't even say spirals now. Oh, my God.
It makes sense, but Andrew Tate talks about like men and women and relationships and money and ego, and he talks about all these things that are actually correlated with human trafficking. So if he was human trafficking, it's not like he's a professional in this talking about this and secretly doing this. He's talking about the thing that he's secretly not doing behind the scenes. It's like different. Like, if he's like talking about this, how you build a great relationship, but secretly he's sex trafficking people that are under 18 in different countries, like, that's tied together with who you are as a person, and it goes into your. Yes, it is, bro.
No,
I agree with Deezy on that one.
Nah, bro. Listen, the logic doesn't track. In my opinion, doesn't track. Look, first of all, the wife could know. It is the way he makes money, not the way he deals with his wife, his family, his kids. Like, even still, regardless if your business is sex trafficking, which is fucking disgusting.
And he talks about making money. That's my point.
The message still is work as hard at what you're doing as possible. Be the best at what you do.
Even if it's sex trafficking.
I don't
Put your all in. All of it.
Go all in.
Put your all in. Put your all in.
Are you selling crack? You should be selling fentanyl, you bitch.
Listen,
Fresh is just presenting. you're presenting the Tony Soprano. You know, like we root for Tony Soprano, even though he for sure is a psycho on the show. Like he's a sociopath.
I hope that
we root
I
for
hope
him.
that's none of it's true. It's just the Matrix attacking him. I hope that that's the truth, because that goes along with the current agenda of what's going on. So it would make sense. And I hope that that's the truth, that he's never done anything wrong and he's innocent until proven guilty. But we were talking hypotheticals and net positives. So in the case that it is true that he's been doing some really bad shit,
Banished from the internet,
think that it was not a net positive. That's just my opinion.
Well, listen, now I would challenge you to prove that, because how many bitch-made men did he turn into fucking people who are going to be goats and create amazing shit and push society forward? I'm not advocating for any of these activities. But I am going to present this argument, bro. The life of one compared to many, like it really depends on what this man, like, I don't think there's a metric in which you can actually prove net positive, because how do you find out the men who would have ended up being in their mom's basement forever now have a crazy company going to impact the world, disrupting industries and becoming multimillionaires? And
listen,
I don't know, bro.
Deezy,
Well, the sad part about that is they'll never come forward and say that Andrew Tate was their inspiration if he gets convicted of sex trafficking.
That's a good thing, because if he gets convicted, then nobody else needs to hear from him ever again, and he needs to get wiped off the internet. But again, we're talking about like overall impact.
Is that no one will ever know that Andrew Tate made that person from bitch made to a person if he got convicted of sex trafficking. Because no one's gonna.
You're right, Deezy, and that's why I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to come out here and say, O.J. Simpson made me the man I am today.
Oh shit!
Riding that Bronco in '95 when I was growing up as an adolescent. Show me the value of perseverance.
Damn.
R.I.P. OJ.
Well, listen, I don't believe that OJ did it. Okay,
no. Let's not go to.
We're not going there, bro. Listen,
I mean, he wasn't convicted, so if the rule of law couldn't put him behind bars,
you know what? You're right, Deezy. Actually, he was not. You know what?
He was not convicted, so OJ is innocent. He didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
I don't care if he wrote a book called "If the Glove Fit." I don't care if he wrote that book, or if I had did it. I think that's what it was called. If I had done it, or if I had did it. But yeah, I don't care that he wrote that book. He definitely didn't do it.
All right. Well, listen, we got to move on to our final topic. One thing's for sure. Tate token, daddy token is not in the U.S. crypto reserve, and I am offended. Dang it, Trump.
Well,
right, he's an American. It's an American coin. It should be in the strategic.
The good news, it's not a security. So,
cheers. Do I have anything to cheers with? Water. Cheers.
Bro, this is like the last. I ran through all my drink.
Oh my god.
Me too.
We've gone way overboard.
I'm gonna piss my pants over here too. Like,
I mean, do we want to talk about this? Listen, I'm disappointed.
Bro, I thought it could be quick. We can do a run through, bro. We're creating a strategic reserve. The order creates a strategic Bitcoin reserve that will treat Bitcoin as a reserve asset. It will be capitalized with Bitcoin owned by the Department of the Treasury that was forfeited as a part of a criminal or civil asset forfeited. So they're taking all of the Bitcoin that they
Silk Road Bitcoin, Silk Road Bitcoin, all that shit.
Boom! U.S. Department of Treasury, bitch.
That's
so basically, they're like, okay, so let's break this down. Number one, ain't buying nothing new. I thought I was going to get XRP, a couple of billion, the XRP pot. Nope. All right, so ain't buying nothing new. And then all the shit they stole. Like that Bitcoin money, a lot of it is probably Silk Road money. So they're just going to hold that. That's the reserve now. The money you done stole from people for just what? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of it's real serious stuff, but probably a lot of it is like buying drugs online and shit. I don't know. And then you ain't buying nothing new, which, okay, I get it. You don't want to, you shouldn't have, taxpayers should not be forced to pay for it.
It doesn't say that they're not going to buy, it doesn't say that they're not going to buy new stuff. It says that they are ordered to, if you scroll back up, fresh, scroll up, at the very, it's like the second one. It says that they will, there it is, that one, yeah. They're authorized to develop budget neutral strategies for acquiring Bitcoin, provided that those strategies impose no costs on American taxpayers. So they are gonna get more as long as it doesn't cost us money, which I'm for. That's great. I shouldn't have to pay for our government's fucking strategic reserve. They should be doing that with the money they collect through tariffs, not taxes.
Okay. Now we're talking. If we're doing it with the tariffs, maybe, because I'm still on the fence about the tariff thing in general. But we'll see. I mean, it's never really been done in modern times, so I want to see how it goes down. But yeah, if it's foreign money, you know, we get tariffs, we're charging them, and then we start throwing that into some of these assets. Okay, cool. I can see that. That's cool. Okay, maybe that'll happen. Because yeah, I agree. You shouldn't have to take taxpayer money and buy, you know, this stuff. But although, you know, they did that, I guess they did it with tariffs back in the day too, with gold, I'm assuming. So
and they're saying they're not going to sell that shit. Yeah, bro. You see this? They're like, yo, the previous administration sold our fucking Bitcoin, boys. We already lost 17 billion. G, this shit's just going to, this is our moonshot bag, and they're selling out of it, dummies. But yo, you see this shit, bro? They're really saying it's digital gold. You know, they're like, yo, this shit is digital gold.
Aaron Day, where are you, man? Where are you, Aaron?
I agree with this. I agree with this, bro. Like, it's trying to resolve the disjointed handling of cryptocurrency seized through forfeiture. Like,
well, I mean, we can all agree now that Bitcoin is just digital gold. It's not a payment system.
Aaron would have a fucking meltdown right now. I mean, he has been on X. I don't know if you've been watching, but you know, he's super anti-Bitcoin. So he's talking about how this is just a big.
I mean, Roger Ver, you know, he wrote the book literally, you know, hacking Bitcoin. So, but hey, whatever. Like, okay,
Roger,
I will give.
He's absent on social media. So Aaron Day is pretty much like anything that Roger Ver would be saying. Aaron Day is saying it. So I just
Aaron's right. I mean, Aaron's right. Like, I mean, you know, that's why, you know, I don't want to shout out any particular coin, but you know, follow Aaron Day at Aaron Day. Great dude. We interviewed him. Follow him. He knows what's really going on with all this shit. For anybody watching right now, check him out. I do think there is one positive about this. And I think it's a general positive about Trump being involved in crypto, which is that it's being normalized. It's being solidified as this is not some weird, you know, kind of, you know, money they kept saying for years, like money laundering and scheming and all that, even though the US dollar is used for way more of that than freaking Bitcoin. At least at the very least, it's like, hey, it's a legit currency. Cryptocurrencies are legit. They're legit assets. And I think that when they finally get to the actual regulatory structure of it all, I think that's going to be a huge, huge deal.
They announced today that banks are allowed to partake in in crypto activities.
What? So, when they say that?
So they're going to start. Yeah, they're going to start custodying crypto.
All right. Well, there you go. Okay, so whatever. Okay, fine. They ain't going to buy more. The government ain't going to buy more, but at least now the banks and the big institutions and all that, they can get in the market. I know a lot of people hate that because they want to live in a fantasy anarchic crypto world, which I mean, I guess some of these, I just feel like if you're getting Monero and these kind of things, like this AI is going to come in here and start busting all that stuff up. I think the AI, you're saying that, Deezy, right? Like AI is going to come in. And it's a big
Quantum
deal.
and AI.
Yeah.
Bro, as soon as you give an artificial intelligence like quantum supercomputing, like fuck, bro. There's no algorithm that it can't solve. I don't care that for everyone that doesn't know, SHA 256 was developed by the CIA and NSA. So the government developed the hashing algorithm that's used to secure Bitcoin today. It was literally the thing that creates the security of Bitcoin was created by a government. So people should be wary about the fact that there is a lot of huge possibility that Bitcoin is and was created as an op for getting everybody on a ledger that can be tracked. So then no more digital or no more physical dollars. Everything's digital.
Bro,
we don't need a CBDC if all of the dollars can be tracked.
Who's the creator of Bitcoin?
I don't know. There's a lot of speculation, but some people are saying,
what is his name? What is his name?
Jack Dorsey is what people are speculating.
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yes,
but
this is what I'm asking you, right?
If you break down the
what
name,
does that stand for, though? Yeah, what does that stand for in Japanese? It's middle intelligence. It's middle intelligence is like the exact word for word. Just bro, who created the hash?
CIA and NSA.
I mean, should we just end it?
That's why I should check out Zano. Yeah, I don't know. I guess buy land, buy gold.
Like, bro, I'm just I don't know, bro.
Get chickens and eggs, damn.
Yeah, bro. Like, it just seems to me like we've been out here fucking doing the beta testing for like total control.
Well, look, if people say that Bitcoin BTC stands for Beta Test Coin, created by David Schwartz, who's currently CTO at XRP Ripple. XRP stands for Exchange Rate Peg. It's the peg of exchange.
Hold on.
I don't know. There's a lot of fucking.
Let's hold off on that pegging now. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo.
And pegging.
On that note, I think that we found out what ZiLLY likes the most.